So anyway, we've been talking about jury trials, and speaking of jury trials, we just finished a big jury trial in Independence County, and it's quite an exciting process, and it's really emotionally draining. And when you see it on TV, that they bring in the jury, and then they zip all the way through it, and then they trick the person into saying they did it at the end of the show. And everybody gets justice. Well, that's not the way an actual jury trial works. I know we all know that in the back of our heads, but we still expect when we get in there and we're watching for that moment where they trick them into saying, I did it, I'm so sorry. It just doesn't work that way. When you get in an accident and you have to go to a jury trial, almost 100% of the time, the other side never apologizes. They never say, I'm sorry that I did it. At most, you'll get some sort of a pathetic apology through their attorneys at trial so that the jury won't be too mad at them. That just comes off like breaking up with your girlfriend by having your best friend call them in junior high. Hey, Timmy doesn't want to date you anymore, click. It's apologies just never come to the table. And it's frustrating because so often, when you've been hurt, you just want somebody to acknowledge you and to recognize you and to say, hey, we know we messed up and we want to help get you fixed. We want to help get you back where you should be. Because that's the way we were raised. We were raised to know that if we mess something up, we may not want to take responsibility, but we're going to take responsibility. I guess not all of us had that mother that grab you by the back of the ear and jerk you all over creation if you didn't do what you were supposed to, or at least the idea of it. While it may not have been your mother, it may have been your aunt or your dad. But jury trials are a long and arduous process, and it's something that you only want to have to do if you have to. Cooler heads will try to figure things out through either mediation beforehand or trying to reach an agreement. We're good attorneys. We know where our cases are, and we know what our cases are worth. And when one side completely undervalues, the damages your client has, then you find yourself having to go to the jury trial and having to have 12 to 14 people in the community, at least spend a week of their life listening to everything that your client's been through, while the other side works to try to devalue what they've been through. And it can be a frustrating process. But, when it's over with and you win, and we won this week, it can be a good thing because now we know that our client's going to be taken care of moving forward. And that's what it's all about. And, so often we see personal injury attorneys that are like, I got all this money, yo. And, that's not what it's about. It's about taking care of your client. It's about, helping them move on to the next stage of their life so they don't have to worry about things. If they've been through a severe injury, accident, a collision, they're playing the what-if game all day long. What if I can't pay my bills? What if I can't do this? And to get them, enough recognition and money to pay off all those bills, that's a big deal. That's one less thing that they have to worry about. And one less thing is always better. So hopefully none of this is anything you or your family members have to deal with, but for some of us it is. And if you've been in an accident or your family members have been in an accident, well, guess what? I'm your guy. Fuller Bumpers. I'd love to meet with you and work through what's going on in your case and see if we can get you taken care of so that you have that one less thing to worry about for the rest of your life.